Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on November 19th. And all I got to say is to start this one, the Pistons won again. Guys, I apologize for the lack of podcast yesterday. For all of my YouTube viewers, my podcast listeners, I apologize for the lack of a show yesterday. Canva was down as well as everything else. I guess Cloudflare got like DDoS or something. So I was unable to get a podcast up and ready for you guys. So I'm not going to really take that much blame for it, but I do apologize. Starting with today's episode, I wanted to go over the three most entertaining games from last night, starting with the Pistons. And then I came up with a new segment that I want to, that I'm very excited about. And I think that we'll be able to do this more often. It's called Take It Back. Thought of it last night. And I realized a lot of people who are on these sports channels or on podcasts and whatnot, they don't admit when they're wrong. And that's like one of the biggest issues with sports in general is people will say these outlandish takes. And when they're proven wrong, they say, well, didn't see that coming. Yeah, right. And that's it. They don't take blame for their actions and their words. So I'm going to actually hold myself accountable for my correct takes and my wrong takes. So that will be the last segment of today's episode. But like I said, I want to start today with talking about the best games from last night. But before all that, guys, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. And YouTube watchers, TikTok watchers, my live viewers, shout out to all of you guys who tune in to these live 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. If you guys want to get on the action, like I said, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Leave a like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. All right, let's get this one started with the very first game of the night. I think the most entertaining game from last night. This was actually supposed to be the game that was on national television. This was supposed to be the game that was nationally televised. But when Trae Young got hurt a couple weeks ago, the NBA decided to flex the Grizzlies and Spurs game onto Peacock and NBC. Now, I know they regret that heavily. It was a semi-entertaining game between the Grizzlies and Spurs, but obviously people want to watch Wembanyama. He's out. People want to watch Ja Morant. I don't know why. But yeah, the Pistons now, I'm sure they regret it. The Pistons now move on to 13-2 and lead not only the Central Division, but the Eastern Conference with a number 1 seed. I just want to talk about what we're seeing from this Detroit team. This is the first time since the 2007-2008 season where the Pistons have won 11 games in a row, okay? Not just that, this is the best start the Pistons have ever had since 2005, okay? I'm not done yet. The longest winning streak ever in franchise history for the Detroit Pistons is 13 games. They managed to do that twice in the franchise since it was created. Since they were the Fort Wayne Pistons, the longest winning streak they've ever had is 13 in a row. Okay. And now the Pistons have won 11 and they've started the season like this. You can't tell me that 2 years ago, when they dropped 28 games in a row and broke the all-time losing streak in NBA history, that anybody would have predicted this 2 years later. The Pistons have Milwaukee next on Saturday. They got a long break, which is great. They just got Cade. They just got Asar back. And now they don't play until Saturday. And they're up against Milwaukee, who is without Giannis Antetokounmpo for now. So when you're looking at this team, it is very possible that they could end up winning 13 in a row, maybe even more. And this is all stemming from how deep this team is. I don't know if you guys are unsure of how the NBA works now, right? But with the way the NBA is today, is having a good star is great. Having 2 good stars is cool. But what wins games now is having a deep roster. You saw the Thunder, right? You saw the Celtics. You saw the Nuggets, right? And when you see this team, they're deep. For 2 games in a row, the Pistons were missing 7 players, right? They were going to their backup of their backups. They were. They had G Leaguers in, and now look at how deep the Pistons have finally found their needle in a haystack. The diamond in the rough in Dennis Jenkins. I cannot wait until they give him a guaranteed contract that's going to be absolutely huge, right? You know, I've said it again, and I'll say it. I see some people in the live crew are surprised that the Pistons are originally from Fort Wayne. Yes, they are. And dating back then, like I said, their longest winning streak ever is 13 games. They didn't manage to do that in Fort Wayne, but they started doing that in Detroit, back when they were in Pontiac more in particular. So the Pistons are just having every single starter right now in double digits. You had Duncan Robinson with 14, Isaiah Stewart with 13, Jalen Duren with 24, 8, 3, 2, and 1, 8 for 12 from the field. He had amazing finishes around the rim. Cade in his first game back after missing 3 games? 2 games? I want to say 2 games because it's been over a week since he played. He hasn't played in 8 days. He had 25 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Unbelievable. And then you had Dennis Jenkins, who also started next to Cade with 14 points, 7 assists. This kid's incredible. I think every time this guy, Dennis Jenkins, has the ball in his hands, I'm not worried about what he does. He does it right. And you know what? I was worried that Fontecchio, when the Pistons did the sign and trade with Simone Fontecchio and Duncan Robinson, I was worried that Duncan Robinson wouldn't be able to replicate what Malik Beasley, what Tim Hardaway Jr. did. He's doing more than what they both did for the Pistons. He is good off the dribble. Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway were not. And I feel like it's worked very well. Tim Hardaway was okay for the Pistons. He was thrusted into the starting role, and that's why he didn't thrive with the Pistons. Hey, he's doing very well in Denver. So I'm very happy for Tim Hardaway. Simone Fontecchio, his shot doesn't touch the rim. Now, last year with the Pistons, he couldn't touch the rim, but in a negative way. He could even hit the rim. He couldn't hit the backboard. In fact, he did hit the backboard multiple times. This guy could not shoot for the Pistons last year. Now he's shooting over 40% from the three-point land with the Miami Heat. Good for him. Now, Malik Beasley's three-point shooting cannot be replicated. That was a career year that Malik Beasley had for the Pistons last year. I'm getting a little bit too off topic, but it was a one-off. Even if Malik Beasley returns, he's not going to be doing what he did, right? Duncan Robinson, how valuable he is on offense and defense, this guy knows what to do at all times. And most times when we have Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway in, Cade couldn't trust them with the ball. If Cade gave him the ball, the three's going up or the three's not going up. Nothing else was happening. Duncan Robinson so many times will come off of a screen and pull it, and he'll hit it. And guess what? If he's getting hounded at the three-point line, which he does, he puts the ball on the floor and goes up and gets a nice layup or an alley-oop to Duren every single time. The amount of attention that Duncan Robinson demands sort of has me thinking that this guy might need to be a full-time starter for the Detroit Pistons. In case you don't know, Jaden Ivey was now sent to the G League to start getting warmed up and start ramping up his production to get back into the game. And I think Jaden Ivey will be returning here for the Pistons in about a week or two max. I think Jaden Ivey will start coming off the bench, but something that's concerning to me is with the way that Duncan Robinson is guarded on the perimeter, I don't know if Jaden Ivey will ever be able to have that reputation of being a prolific shooter like a Duncan Robinson does. Now, it's great to have another off-ball creator for Cade in Jaden Ivey, which Duncan doesn't really do, but that's what they have Asar Thompson for, right? And Asar Thompson didn't start last night because he was also ramping up production. He hasn't played in 4 games, but he came off the bench and he was rusty, but he still did his thing defensively. When they put Asar in the 4th quarter, Pistons somehow sealed the Hawks off and got the win. Asar Thompson needs to be on a defensive team. I think he should be defensive first team with how incredible he's been playing. Mind you, the Pistons are still missing Jaden Ivey, Tobias Harris, Karis LeVert, Bobby Klintman, which I don't care, and Marcus Sasser. It's going to be very interesting when Jaden Ivey steps onto the court with Cade Parker Cunningham for the first time since January 1st of 2025. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what the Pistons end up doing. Jaden Ivey needs to shoot above 40% again from three, like he did last year, like he was doing last year. People forget Jaden Ivey was shooting 43% from three on like 4 or 3 attempts a game. So with the Pistons, the defense is going to be there. When you have dogs like Javonte Green, Ron Holland, Paul Reed, Chaz Lanier off the bench, it's looking great. Their rookie is looking like a steal in the draft. Chaz Lanier came in and hit 3 threes immediately when he came onto the floor last night. And overall, I want to say the Pistons were up 19 and they choked that lead, but they never, ever gave up the lead this game. The Hawks brought it back to 1. Cade Parker Cunningham comes in, gets 2 ginormous buckets. Jalen Duren seals the game with 6 more free throws. The Pistons did their thing last night, and they're going to continue doing their thing because this isn't something that is just going to change overnight. People are saying that they need to wait for them to go up against a good team. My issue with that is, are the Pistons not supposed to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat? They're supposed to, right? Of the 12 wins, or sorry, of the 13 wins for the Detroit Pistons, 8 of them have been against guaranteed playoff and play-in teams. I'd say that's pretty good. Now, they haven't gone up against like a Lakers or a Thunder yet, and when they do, I'm very excited for that. They got some tough games coming up. We got the Knicks, the Heat, so they'll be challenged, and I think they're going to live up to that challenge. The Pistons are still missing players, and I think when they get Jaden Ivey back, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be absolutely huge. I also want to give a minor shout out. Live Crew is reminding me to the Atlanta Hawks. They are surprising me. They're listen, I was not that high on Jalen Johnson at the beginning of the year, but he's showing me why I need to be. He's damn near putting up a triple-double, right? Again, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. He's looking incredible. Dyson Daniels had the Pistons sort of lockdown at the start of this game, getting steal after steal after steal. He had 3 steals in the first quarter. Didn't get another one for the rest of the game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I wanted him in Detroit. I wanted him. You guys might remember me talking about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Hawks got him. My Lord, he is doing everything that I predicted. He had 24 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and he keeps doing it. And a guy that I will say is surprising the hell out of me, and I'm sure surprising the hell out of all of y'all, is Onyeka Okongwu. This guy is a dog, man. He stretches the floor. He can get whatever he wants offensively. He is a great player. What I will say is the Hawks' issue right now. Now, hear me out. Hear me out, y'all. Jalen Duren was bullying this entire team. If you guys watched this game, you would know. Mohamed Gay came in and got 7 offensive rebounds for the Atlanta Hawks. That was huge. That kept them in the game. They missed. Mohamed Gay was right there to grab it. Now, something I'll say about Jalen Duren, this guy is that strong. This guy is that large of a man. He was bullying Jalen Johnson, bullying Onyeka Okongwu. I don't know. He could have had 100 free throws last night. The refs weren't giving it to him. They were pulling his arms down every single play, and they still couldn't stop him. So now I ask y'all this question, and I want you to truly think about it. Don't just answer me because it sounds ludicrous immediately. We're going to move on to our next team. But real quick, don't just write this question off because it sounds insane. But is Jalen Duren a top 5 center in the NBA right now? If he keeps up this trajectory right now, is Jalen Duren a top 5 center in the NBA right now? Let's just, like I said, don't overreact with that question. Let's just think very briefly. In no order, you have Nikola Jokic. You have Victor Wembanyama. You have Alperen Şengün. And then I think it's between Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Duren. And then I think Bam is right there. So if you want to move Bam and Cat, that's fine. But I think no matter what, I think that's your top 5. I think Duren's in there. I think Jalen Duren is a top 5 center in the NBA right now. I see some angry Miami fans coming at me right now saying, dog, come on, Cat over Bam. Me personally, if I'm building a team, I'm going Cat. And if you're mad at that, you're mad at that. But this is all opinion based. I genuinely believe, is the TikTok stream lagging, y'all? Or are we good? Can y'all let me know? Thank you, live crew. So that's why I believe Jalen Duren is a top 5 center in the NBA right now. I mean, even the TikTok agrees. Jalen's averaging all-star numbers while helping lead one of the best teams. I mean, they have the best. This is the best 1-2 man connection in the NBA right now. I don't think there's another 1-2 punch better than this in the NBA right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Cade and Duren are literally the best 1-2 punch in the NBA right now, and I think they're only going to improve. If you're watching on TikTok, be sure to drop a bunch of likes. If you're on YouTube, drop some likes. It's not like freezing or anything, Josh, just making sure. I just want to say, again, this is my last time I'll be saying this about the Detroit Pistons, right? Guys, 2 years ago, we lost 28 games in a row. It was an all-time losing streak in NBA history. All-time losing streak. They are now 13-2, and they've won 11 straight. The longest streak ever for the Detroit Pistons is 13. And they're 2 games away from that. They play Saturday against Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is without Giannis. And I don't think Miles Turner is going to score 140 points for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I don't care about all the Knicks fans telling me not to enjoy these wins. They're telling me they're not good. We eliminated them last year in the first round. Listen, man, I've been a Pistons fan my entire life. And since my brain has actually developed to understand what's going on in this world, I have never been able to look at a Detroit Pistons team quite competent like this one. So I'm going to continue enjoying this. I'm going to continue enjoying this. TikTok said Cavs own y'all. I can't hear you from that low in the standings. Sorry. All right, guys. On that note, I think it's time to move on to our next game of the night. I do want to point one thing out, though. I saw the live crew in the Twitch stream. My homie Beezy said Pistons are going to be super salty. They didn't extend Duren the summer. No, they're not going to be salty. Apparently, Duren's camp and his agent, they wanted a minimum $32 million a year. That's damn near the max extension that he could have got. So Jalen Duren honestly did himself a favor by betting on himself. But on top of that, Jalen Duren is going to get a max contract. At this point, he's going to get a max. He's going to get a max. I see TikTok saying that the Cavs are 1 game behind while being injured. You do not know basketball. You guys are actually 3 games back of the Pistons. On top of that, the Pistons have been missing 7 players every game, 5 of which were their starters. In 2 games, they missed their entire starting lineup. You guys are 3 games behind the Detroit Pistons. I am done with this topic. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Los Angeles Lakers defeating the Utah Jazz last night. Well, this one was interesting. I didn't stay up for the entire game. I fell asleep at halftime. But I kind of want to say something. Let's look at the Lakers stats. And I want to show you something very, very important here, right? They're 27th in rebounding. Not good. They're 29th in blocks. We knew that. Not good. 30th in field goals attempted. Not good. 1st in field goal percentage. Great. 28th in three-pointers made, 27th in three-pointers attempted, and 23rd in three-point percentage. Now, this is all going to change. This is all going to change because I'll tell y'all what. In the first half, the Lakers were sort of just, it looked like a preseason game. It looked like a preseason game for the Los Angeles Lakers. It looked like they were just trying to learn, how does this offense work with LeBron? And my God, after watching the condensed version of the second half this morning, oh man, does it look good. I know it's just 1 game, but LeBron playing off ball could be truly what this team needs. 11 points, 12 assists, 1 steal, 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 3 from the 3. People are saying, LeBron can't play off the ball. LeBron is a ball-dominant player. LeBron needs the ball in his hands. He's not going to succumb to being the 3rd option. Y'all realize this man is turning 41 next month, right? He's turning 41, right? He's been trying to play off ball for the last 10 years. Thank you, Twitch chat. This is what he wants. LeBron hasn't wanted the ball to be in his hands for the last 10 years. He wanted a number 1. Number 2 was fine, but he's okay with being the number 2, number 3 on any given night. If you're going to let Luka Doncic go for 37, I don't know if you guys saw, but they were triple teaming LeBron in the paint, in the post. He was on the high elbow of the paint, and they were double teaming and triple teaming him. Bro. You are leaving It's sort of like the Houston Rockets. Let's think about this real quick. When teams double Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun's open. When teams double Alperen Sengun, they're leaving Kevin Durant open. This is such fun basketball. Because if you're forced to just pick your poison, what are you going to do? LeBron James is about to be 41 next month. And if he continues to play off ball like this and allow Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Ayton go for 20 minimum, are you kidding me? I had the Lakers. I think going into the summer, I think a lot of people were off the Lakers after they got killed in the playoffs, but they were missing so much. They didn't have much, right? So now I want to say this. Right before the season started, you guys can look back at old podcasts and prove my point correct. I said the Lakers are a bit underrated now. People were saying, what are you talking about? How are they underrated? Well, people just started writing them off. Guys, they have Luka Doncic, who just carried his team to the finals 2 years ago. They have LeBron James, who is arguably the greatest player in basketball history. I said arguably, nobody throw tomatoes at my house. And then you have DeAndre Ayton, who every team gave up on. This is happening right now where Austin Reeves is thriving in this second option role. Luka Doncic, high pick and roll. I'm just going to step back and pull it. Luka Doncic, pick and roll with LeBron. LeBron's just a decoy. We are living in an age where pick your poison seems to be like the best bet. Look at the Detroit Pistons. They double up on Cade every time he comes off a screen at the top of the key. Guess what? Cade dumps the ball down to Duren. He's just going to bully you in the paint. Probably going to poster your best defender. You double Duren in the paint, you just left Duncan Robinson open for a three. The way that the offense has now been for the NBA lately truly is a pick your poison type league. Because when you look at this team, do you see any minuses on the court? Pretty sure just the garbage time minutes from Dalton Connect, Bronny James, Adu Thero, and Maxi Kleba. Look at the plus minuses. LeBron +1, +14 Rui, +10, +10, +10, +12, +11. Jake LaRavia was a great signing, great pickup. Marcus Smart was a great signing, great pickup. They have dogs on the bench in a Gabe Vincent, in a Jackson Hayes, in a Marcus Smart, in a Jake LaRavia who's confident as hell. The Los Angeles Lakers truly are a threat to the West. They are a threat to the West. Now, my favorite to come out of the West are the Denver Nuggets. I think they are the best team in the West right now. I think they were 2 injuries away from beating the Oklahoma City Thunder last year in 7 games. If Aaron Gordon wasn't injured and Michael Porter Jr. wasn't injured, I think we all can agree that the Denver Nuggets would have went to the finals, but that didn't happen. Now, Rui, I agree with the Twitch chat right now. Rui Hachimura has been playing incredible. He's been shooting over 50% from the field. It seemed like last night he didn't really know what he wanted. He didn't really know his role. He'll get used to it because Rui's a great player. He'll adapt. Now, I don't want people to think that Lakers fans are doing laps right now, celebrating that they beat the Jazz. The Jazz have the worst defense in the league. They're giving up 140 to some of the worst teams in the NBA. The Lakers fans are not running in circles about beating the Jazz by any means. What they are doing is they got LeBron James back. Now it's time to get this team to click. They got a great head coach in JJ Redick. This is the time where the Lakers are going to start playing together and learning each other. And this is how it's going to look for the rest of the year. Now, I want to give another shout out to the Utah Jazz, man. This team has looked so much fun. I don't know about y'all, bro, but the Utah Jazz are like guaranteed watches for me every night. And if you're a casual, I highly recommend, if you want just pure offense, turn on a Utah Jazz game. Because Lauri Markkanen in his last 10 games is averaging 38 points per game. Lauri Markkanen, you are a Detroit Piston. Keontae George hit 3 threes in a row in the second quarter. He had 34 points. Keontae George is having a huge second-year leap. Ace Bailey, 13 points. He didn't have a great first half, but he played better in the second. This team is a lot of fun to watch. You should definitely watch the Utah Jazz. They are a lot of fun to watch. Offensively, they're great. Lauri Markkanen, you are a Detroit Piston. Lakers, man. Lakers. I'm not missing a game for a long time. I don't think the Lakers play until Sunday. So the schedules are a bit weird right now in the NBA. So the Pistons had just played 3 games in 4 nights, and then they just came back to a back-to-back where they played in Detroit and then landed in Atlanta at 4 a.m. And now the Lakers also had 3 games in 4 nights. So the Pistons don't play until Saturday. The Lakers don't play until Sunday. That's kind of insane. Also, happy birthday to Jalen Duren. He turned 22 yesterday. 22. If you guys don't know anything about the NBA, go look up a picture of Jalen Duren. That man just turned 22. Let's move on to our third game of the night that I would like to just talk about, not dive into too deep, but I would like to talk about them because it was a great win for this team, right? So let's talk about the Orlando Magic defeating the Golden State Warriors, right? So when you look at this team, let's start with the Magic because they won. Let's start with them. I don't like starting with the losing team. I like starting with the winning team. So when you look at the Orlando Magic and what they've been doing ever since they lost Paolo, they're a new team. Now, I don't know if this team was just experimenting for the first 14 games. I don't know. Because their defense was horrible to start the season off. And now all of a sudden, their defense looks like we thought last year, right? They're looking good. And here's what I'll say about the Orlando Magic. I've been preaching this into the heavens. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are not going to work. Stop using the comparison of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. This is not going to work. All of a sudden, the Magic are coming alive because Paolo's hurt. Now, I hope Paolo, a speedy recovery. Look at how Desmond Bane is playing without Paolo. Look at how Franz Wagner is playing without Paolo. Look at Tristan da Silva. Look at Anthony Black. I said it last year. When Paolo went out, the Magic were winning more. And now I'm saying it this year as well. It is just absolutely unbelievable that people can tell me that Franz Wagner is not the best player on this basketball team. Yes, he was 7 for 17 because he was getting doubled and tripled every single time down the floor, but he trusted his other guys. Tristan da Silva, 15 points. Wendell Carter Jr., 17 points. Desmond Bane, 23 points. Did you guys know that the Orlando Magic are undefeated right now when Desmond Bane scores at least 20 points? This is how it's working. They're missing Mo Wagner. They're missing Paolo, which I think is, in my opinion, Franz did have a poor game. He did, but his other teammates stepped up. Franz doesn't need to lead this team in scoring every single night. That's why they went out and got Desmond Bane. Listen, I hate the Orlando Magic. Part of the reason being is because I hate Paolo Banchero. I respect him. I respect how good the Magic look right now. But in my opinion, remember, this is all opinion. You can disagree with me. When Paolo is on the floor, what does he do? He needs the ball, correct? On offense, Paolo Banchero needs the ball. Now, what is Paolo's go-to move? If you need a bucket from Paolo Banchero, what is his go-to move? He's a young player. He's probably still trying to develop that. He doesn't have a go-to move that is reliable, and nobody on this team truly has one. Paolo Banchero does one of 3 things. Let me tell you, I've watched hundreds of minutes of Orlando basketball this year. Paolo Banchero either takes a step back 3, barely touches the rim. Paolo Banchero either dribbles, tween, pulls up for a mid-range. He's got the lowest percentage in the NBA right now in mid-range shots. The lowest. Number 1 lowest percentage in mid-range shots for somebody that has attempted as many as he has. But guess where he's got an extremely high percentage? Under the basket. Top 10 in the league at finishes and attempts and points underneath the basket. He's automatic when he drives into the hoop. He's automatic. He's like 6'11", crazy wingspan. The issue with Paolo Banchero is, with what I just said, what can he do off the ball? Tell me. Paolo Banchero will sit in the corner the entire possession. He's not going to catch and shoot. If he catches it and shoots it, he's going to miss it. He's not catch and shoot. Okay, so now what? Let's say Desmond Bane and Franz Wagner have the ball up top. Let's just say one of them have the ball up top. Where is Paolo on the court? He's hiding in one of the corners. He's not providing anything to the offensive play because he's not a threat from deep, right? Paolo does not succumb to being in the dunker spot. So if Paolo Banchero is not a catch and shoot threat, if he's not going to be in the dunker spot to be a threat, you're telling me all he's good for is being a point forward who can't shoot, can't create his own shot, and can only drive into the hoop. That is why the Orlando Magic's offense has looked so stagnant in the half court. That is literally the main reason why they lack offensively. Desmond Bane is a catch and shoot player. He is a catch and shoot player. He's not able to catch and shoot because Paolo Banchero's got the ball up top and he's not looking to pass. Now all of a sudden, now that Desmond Bane is their primary ball handler alongside Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane all of a sudden is scoring 20 a game minimum with 5 assists. The issue with the Orlando Magic is how can we play Franz, Bane, and Wagner at the same damn time, including Jalen Suggs? Now, I think this all could be fixed relatively quickly. This team needs a point guard. We all agree that, right? This team, out of all teams in the NBA, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, but I think the Orlando Magic are right there. They need a point guard. Jalen Suggs is a fine player. 8 assists is great, but he's not looking to pass the ball like that. Tyus Jones has been an absolute dud for the Orlando Magic. This is just a rental. He's going to get shipped off before the trade deadline. I will almost bet my entire bank account that they will get rid of him. I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I think I have to say it a third time. Anthony Black's a great player. I think the Orlando Magic need to make a play for Trae Young. When I look at this roster up and down, I can't not think of a better team that Trae Young would go on. Trae Young sucks defensively. The Orlando Magic are prolific defensively. Now, the Atlanta Hawks are good defensively along the perimeter, but they have no interior defense. I think Trae Young, mixed in with Franz Wagner, mixed in with Paolo, mixed in with Bane, you want to talk to me about contenders? I think that right there is a contender. Now, I don't want to talk about what if that, what if this, what if that. Let's talk about what the Orlando Magic have right now. And it's ball movement. It is ball movement. Something that they don't have when Franz, Bane, and Paolo are all on the court at the same time. This is their issue. This is the Orlando Magic's fault. Paolo cannot play off ball. Franz can, Paolo cannot. And now they're stuck in between doing the classic basketball play that never leads to success. Franz, your turn. Paolo, your turn. Bane, your turn. It doesn't work. It's never worked. It can't work. Every team needs a 1-2 punch. The Celtics won because they had the 1-2 punch between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They feed off of each other. I do not like when people compare Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both shot creators. Guess what? They are both catch and shoot players. Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, they are not both on either avenue. This offense cannot work. We saw it with the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi, right? You see it now with James Harden and Kawhi. You saw it with let's think of another team that has 2 offensive stars. You saw it with the Nets with Harden, Durant, and Kyrie. It just does not work. And I think something needs to change. I think Paolo and Franz need to be pushed a little bit more. You can't trade one of them. You cannot trade one of them. That's not what I'm saying. You need to figure this out. If you are the team that trades a Franz Wagner and a Paolo Banchero, you're going to be in trouble. Now, I wanted to talk about the Warriors just briefly because I have another segment at the end of today's episode. But I think I'm going to save this for later. I'll just say Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry both dropping 30 points and you're still losing to the Orlando Magic speaks volumes. I said it a couple weeks ago. I have fully given up on Brandon Pods. Pajensky, I'm fully out. I am fully out on Pods. I can't stand it. I don't understand why Steve Kerr continues to push this kid. I do not like him. He is not good at basketball, and I think he is horrible for the Golden State Warriors. I think you need to see more Gary Payton. They need DeAnthony Melton back. I think you need more Will Richard. I know he's a rookie, but you need more from him than you are giving Pods. Pods is not a good. Maybe he can thrive elsewhere. It's sort of like a Josh Giddey, and not because they're both, well, a little bit because they're both white. Giddey needs the ball. He was not fit for Oklahoma. He was the piece they needed to trade for them to win. Now he's doing great in Chicago, right? You look at Pods, he needs a change in scenery. He is not what the Golden State Warriors are. Okay, I don't want to talk about the Warriors too much now because I have a segment later on in today's episode that we will be talking heavily about the Golden State Warriors. So guys, we are halfway through. We just broke down all the games that I think were the most entertaining from last night. It's time to move on to our next segment that I think a lot of sports podcasts and radio shows, I thought of it last night, so I'm not saying I came up with it. If somebody did it before me, then don't, I thought of it last night. I thought it was a great idea. Something that I think media lacks nowadays in the NBA and all American sports for that matter is accountability. If I say something, I'll own up to it if I was completely wrong about it, right? And I had a couple takes that I said at the beginning of this year that I think that I need to talk about because it's an elephant in the room at this point. I can't act like I foresaw every single detail, right? So let's go ahead and move on to our next segment called Take It Back. Before that, though, if you guys are new in the TikTok live crew, be sure to drop a follow, drop some likes. YouTube chat, be sure to drop some likes and some comments and subs. Twitch, keep being beautiful. You guys are the most handsome people on the planet. Twitch, I love y'all. And podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. Tyler, thanks for the big follow on TikTok. I appreciate all the follows from the live crew. Let's move on to our next segment called Take It Back. Take It Back. We are starting with the Los Angeles Clippers. Wow, was I wrong? Was I wrong about this team, man? I said it before this year. I said the Los Angeles Clippers will be a playoff team. They won't miss the playoffs. I said that. Now, I didn't say, and I remember vividly, word for word, I said, I will never put money on the Los Angeles Clippers because they always let me down. If there's one team that always lets me down brutally, it's the Los Angeles Clippers. So I will never, ever, ever, ever put anything on this team because even back in the Lob City days, are you guys seeing this schedule right here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have lost 8 out of their last 9 games. Listen, I know I said don't put money on them. I wasn't expecting them to be this bad. The unction. 25th in points scored. 25th in rebounding. 28th in assists. 10th in blocks. 24th in field goal percentage. 29th in field goals attempted. This team, I can't believe I'm saying this in the big 2025. But my Lord, Harden needs help. Now, I see people on TikTok saying, well, half the team is injured. What do you expect? Well, I have sorry news for you, my friend. There's a lot of teams that are injured right now. A lot of them. The Pistons were missing their whole starting lineup for 2 games. The Pistons are still missing 5 players. And they're still on they're on an 11-game winning streak. But the Los Angeles Clippers right now, this roster is not it. It's not it. In case you don't know, the Los Angeles Clippers are not just the oldest team in the NBA right now. Yeah, the Miami Heat are missing 2 of their best players, literally. In case you don't know, the Los Angeles Clippers are not just the oldest team in the NBA right now. What if I told you they are the oldest team in NBA history? In history. That's right. They have an average age of 36 years old. Now, I know that might sound like it's not that believable, but it is. The Los Angeles Clippers are not just losing these games, man. They are getting embarrassed in most of them. Nothing looks good. And now I think they're missing Derek Jones Jr. as well, which is not going to help. So Bradley Beal's out for the season. Hoorah! I mean, he wasn't doing anything anyways. Kawhi Leonard is still out. Derrick Jones Jr. is out. So when you look up and down this roster, I said there's one player I think that gets a lot of credit for being a good shooter, right? And he's one of arguably the worst shooters in the NBA. And that guy is Bogdan Bogdanovic. I've talked about this guy more times than I can count. He was a career 40% three-point shooter just 2 years ago. Career 40%. That's a lot. For the last 2 seasons, Bogdan Bogdanovic has plummeted to sub 27% shooting from three-point land. He shot 1 for 6 in their last game. That is his average. That's pretty much his average. Bogdan Bogdanovic is fully, I don't know if he's got the, I don't know. I thought the additions of John Collins, Ivica, I thought this team would be it. I thought this team is it. They got John Collins. They got Bradley Beal. They obviously had Derrick Jones Jr. from last year. I thought this team is going to look good. I was so wrong. I apologize. I take it back. I did not think the Clippers would be this bad. They are 4-10, and I honestly don't know if they're going to make the play-in. Right now, if you look at the standings in the West, the Clippers right now are the 11th seed, so they would be out of the play-in. To miss the play-in in the West would be sort of insane, though, because that means you'd have to have the Jazz, Trailblazers, and the Suns all ahead of you. I don't know. Guys, this team traded Norman Powell to the Miami Heat to make room for Bradley Beal. Let that sink in. Norman Powell right now is arguably an all-star right now in the East. Norman Powell is doing it again. He is averaging 26 points per game. 26. I see TikTok chat telling me, bro doesn't understand how the second apron works. That I just explained to you the second apron. So this is why I don't really respond to many TikTok comments. If you guys want to actually talk with intellectual ball knowers, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. So once again, I'll say it because TikTok doesn't understand. They traded Norman Powell to make room for Bradley Beal. Now, when you look at that trade, you start to question it. They thought that was his best year. In fact, they were wrong. He's having his best year now on very efficient numbers with the Miami Heat. So when you look at this team up and down, they have no defense, right? They have no offense. I had Ivica Zubac as arguably a top 5 center in the NBA going into this year. Arguably. Wow, he's taken a step back. He's taken a major step back. And when you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, I don't know if I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I genuinely don't know if I see it. Yes, they get Kawhi back. In my opinion, the Clippers will make the play-in. I will give them that. I said there's no way they'll miss the playoffs, but at this point, I think there's no way that they'll miss the play-in. I can't see that happening. I cannot see you allowing the Utah Jazz and the Trailblazers, as well as the Suns, who keep surprising us, which I'll talk about later. I can't see it. I cannot see that happening. A major shout out again to everyone from the TikTok and YouTube going to the Twitch stream right now. I typically answer questions at the end of these episodes. So if you guys are enjoying, be sure to drop a like, follow wherever you're at. I appreciate y'all. I was not expecting this. They should make the play-in. There's no reason. I think having Kawhi Leonard can inject any team. And okay, it's time for a serious point, and then I'll move on from the Clippers. Do we have any Clipper fans in the building? Genuinely. Do you guys hate Kawhi Leonard? Obviously, you love him because he's your team. But do you guys hate Kawhi Leonard? Because I'll say, if Kawhi Leonard was on the Pistons for me, I would have to switch my fan base. And I've been a Pistons fan my entire life since I was born. I think Kawhi Leonard, as great as he is, you guys are paying him what 50 million, 55 a year to just not play not to play basketball games. And it's depressing. It's very, very depressing. I would hate to be a fan of Kawhi Leonard. I was obviously rooting for him in 2019 when he won with Toronto, but I can't. I would not be able to do it. The load management, yeah, he's a great player. And I understand why the live crew and the TikTok is saying it's a love-hate relationship. It's because when you look at Kawhi Leonard, there's one word I would use to describe Kawhi Leonard. Let me know if you guys have ever heard this before. I think Kawhi Leonard, his game looks very mechanical. It's not because he's a robot with no personality. His game literally looks like if you were to program a robot and just give them the ability to play basketball. He knows everything that he's doing. He does everything with good intention. His movements are always so clean. It's truly a love-hate relationship for me with Kawhi Leonard because the best ability, like the Twitch chat just said, is availability. Prime Kawhi, no matter how short that is, can hang with anybody in NBA history. I agree with you, Twitch chat. I agree. Now, I want to move on to our next topic under this segment, Take It Back. And I've been seeing this team name swirl around the chats, right? So you guys are going to be very happy. Take it back. Jay-Z, take it back. The Phoenix Suns. I was unfamiliar with your game, man. I was unfamiliar. I've been watching a lot of Suns games this year. I've been watching a lot of them. You know why? Because that dark black rain cloud that was just over Phoenix blocking the sun, it's gone. If you don't know what I'm referring to, it's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the best pure scorers in NBA history. He's one of the best. No denying it. But with Durant comes that little black, dark rain cloud with him. It hasn't shadowed Houston just yet, but I assure y'all, it will. Let's stay on the sunny side with Phoenix. The vibes of this team is so great. Watching this team, watching Dylan Brooks come in and just be a dog, watching Grayson Allen come in and be an animal. Grayson Allen, what a leap out of you, my boy. What a leap. They got no inside defense, sure, but perimeter defense, it's not bad. When you look at the rebounding, it needs some work, but when you look at their overall stats, they really are a middle of the pack team. I wish Jalen Green didn't get hurt in the first game that he came back. He had 29 points and looked incredible. I guess he got hurt in the second game. Jalen Green is so... The vibe of this team, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see the Suns. You know, they're going to be paying Bradley Beal for the next 5 years, which sucks. That dude's a cancer to any team he's on now, too. But I think the Phoenix Suns can make a move into the play-in. Why not? They have Devin Booker. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA right now, right? They have decent lob threats with Mark Williams and Nick Richards, mostly Mark Williams. He's healthy right now as well. And I think Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, they are all doing their thing, man. And it's a sight to see. It's truly so much fun to watch this team. I promise, guys, if you have not watched the Phoenix Suns game, do me a favor and watch them. Because I said that they're a play-in team at bottom. Right now, they're a playoff team. Oh, I guess no. Right now, they're a play-in team. The way I see this panning out is I think those top six are locks if Wemby comes back relatively soon. I think those top six are locks. Not in the place of where they're at, but I think those teams making the six are locks with the Thunder, Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers, Spurs, Timberwolves. I could see one team coming out of the play-in and moving their way in place of the Spurs. And it could be the Warriors. Maybe they go on a crazy run. But we're talking about the Warriors up next. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. The Suns at bottom should be a play-in team. It wouldn't say, and hey, if they're a play-in or playoff team, that's great. That's great. They had y'all winning 35 games this year? That's great. That is great. Suns fans, don't be upset about this. You're playing with house money right now. This is amazing. Enjoy it and keep it going, man. Enjoy this. Their over-under was 30.5. Are you serious? Whatever their over-under was, I know it was in the 30s. So they're already on pace to crush that. So good for them. Good for them. Guys, I do want to give y'all one reminder, people are saying talk a little bit about the Bulls, talk about the Pistons, talk about Jaylen Brown. I see a lot of that chat swirling around right now. Guys, we start these live shows at 9 a.m. Eastern sharp. So if you do want to tune into them, 9 a.m. Eastern sharp. So, you know, follow the TikTok so that you guys understand. If you guys want to watch it back in case you missed it, click the link in my bio on TikTok. You'll see a podcast channel. It's called Jay-Z Courtside. If you think that I missed anything that I talked about, go sub to the YouTube, Jay-Z Courtside. All my podcasts will be posted there after we're live, okay? So if you think like talk Celtics, talk Jazz, talk Bulls, Pistons, whatever team, we probably talked about them. So if you want the full episodes, be sure to tune in live at 9 a.m. Eastern. Drop a follow so that you remember my name and face, and then go follow the YouTube channel, Jay-Z Courtside. All right, guys, our final topic on this final segment of today's episode. Take it back. The Golden State Warriors. This hurts me. This hurts me. I think it was week 1. I said the Golden State Warriors are championship contenders. I take it back. Not with this roster. Absolutely not with this roster. I'm sorry. But you're playing pods 27 minutes against the Orlando Magic? Al Horford at 39 years old is playing 27 minutes off the bench? The Golden State Warriors, I have to take it back. With this current roster, I can't see them making any moves. I cannot see it. I can't. They're old. This team is old. They are 21st in points, 23rd in rebounding, 21st in blocks, 25th in field goals made, 26th in field goals attempted. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. I really, it might be over. If they can't make a trade, which they won't. In case you guys don't know, the Golden State Warriors have lined up every single one of their contracts to expire in the year of 2027. They're not going to pick up a contract. I don't know if Sabonis could save this team. The Kings are about to have a fire sale. Does Sabonis fit the mold of this team? They need rebounding. He would help. He swallows rebounding. I think Sabonis would help. Yes, it depends on when his contract would end, because the Golden State Warriors do not want to invest beyond 2027. I think last year people wanted Lauri Markkanen to join the Golden State Warriors. They had it completely flip-flopped. I think Lauri Markkanen is perfect for one team in the NBA, and that's the Detroit Pistons. I think that Domantas Sabonis fits one team in the NBA as well, and I think that's the Golden State Warriors. I don't know. This is not going to work, though. This is not going to work. With this current roster construction, this, I assure you, is not going to work. They are 9-7 right now. They're in the play-in. It's not looking good. If you're losing games where Curry is dropping 34 and Jimmy Butler is dropping 33, it's not looking good. So I have to take it back. I don't see the Golden State Warriors being championship contenders. My apologies. I have to take it back. That's on me. I was wrong. So, guys, that is going to be today's episode. I gotta say, if you guys enjoyed, again, be sure to drop likes, follow on whatever platform you're watching. TikTok, we are predominantly streaming on Twitch. So be sure, if you guys do enjoy, drop a follow on TikTok. We do these live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. People are telling me talk about the Lakers, talk about this. We already talked about them. If you guys want to watch the full replay, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jay-Z Courtside. The link is in the bio. Again, that's Jay-Z Courtside. The link is in the bio. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. I got to say, I appreciate everybody for tuning in live. We had a bunch of people over there on the YouTube and TikTok tune in live. So shout out to all of you. Shout out to all my beautiful individuals in the Twitch stream. You guys mean the most to me. I got nothing left to say except for be sure to follow, subscribe, 5-star rating, 5-star review. Be sure to... Oh, I almost just spilled my coffee. Holy moly. My apologies. It didn't spill. I caught it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, Thanks for watching / listening. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern live. So be sure to tune in.